Welcome back to Mugen Plus One. And, now that we've come back from our nice walk in the park in Setagayaku, we thought we'd sit down and share a little bit more information with you about buying a house and what that process is like in Japan. And so, first of all, I wanted to cover where do you start? Where do you find? How do you even start looking for a place, right? And there's many ways to do this. But I think, Alex, you were mentioning a particular website that you like to use to find some property?
It's called Sumo.
Sumo.
Suumo.
Suumo.
They're not paying me yet.
Yeah. Sumo, just in case you want to sponsor, we're more than happy to take your call.
Business.
Yes. But there's other websites as well. I think Homes, Homes is another one. But yeah, just going on here, you can basically, like if there's a particular area that you're interested in, those websites are good because they curate across multiple different, bookings and, available places to go. Just to share from my personal experience, I didn't use one of those websites actually. What I did was I knew the area I went to, and so I just took a walk in that particular area. And the thing about Japan is whenever you're building something, you're going under construction, you have to write on the board in front of the construction site what you're building and what the building name is going to be and everything like that. And so I would just walk around the area I wanted to buy in. I'd find the construction site, I'd be like, hey, that's a perfect location. And I'd look at the sign and it would have the name of the building and everything, look it up online. And I personally bought a condo unit. And so basically each one of those condo units usually has their own website you can go to. We took a look and basically what they will do is they'll have something called a mansion gallery. But basically what this is it's a temporary building where they have basically the sales staff and like a lounge where they kind of like explain to you all the perks and all the features of the building complex they're putting together. And in this building they'll call it like a showroom or like they'll call it a model room.
It's a model home.
Yeah.
In the US you have the same
Model
concept.
home, exactly. So it's like a temporary home built to the exact specification of what your unit would look like. And so you can walk in and you can kind of see what it's going to look like and what the look and feel is going to be. And so you kind of get an idea of what you're going to buy, because typically in Japan, units sell out before they're even built. Like they're in the middle of building it and they'll sell out. So you got to decide whether you want it or not really, really early, like a year or two before the construction is even done. And so this is kind of the typical process. But curious for you, Taeyang, was it a similar process for you to find a place?
I think first it's similar to you, but
Yes.
I just know where I want to find a place.
Right.
So I kind of go to that, and there's a lot of realtor, not only online,
Yeah.
but also there are realtor website.
Yeah.
And then we try to find out whether there's a room or where is the house. So we try to find several kind of website in the realtor, and then ask them arrange visit the house.
Yeah.
That's how we try to find a several place. We visit there.
Yeah.
And good thing is that they usually drive you to the house. You don't need to kind of have any car. Just they gonna show around at the same time several places. So that's how I found our places.
Fantastic. So in your case, it was kind of already built.
Yeah,
and so
it's
you could
already
see
there.
it.
Yeah, see
Okay.
it.
Fantastic.
Speaking of I learned of one place not to use for a source of information, which is advertising on light posts and stuff. Much of the information that's on those is either outdated or flat out lie. Made just so that they can get your contact information and try to do shopping for you.
I see. Interesting.
Well, which might not be bad. Maybe that's okay because they're gonna hook up with you and they'll assist you in finding another place. Maybe not the one that's
that
on
you
the post.
actually,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But don't be deceived by the data.
Yeah, good to know. And then for you, Alex, you used the website you were talking about, yeah?
Correct.
Okay. Fantastic. All right. So that's how you find a place. That's how you check it out. And let's say, all right, we're going to buy. And that's time to pay up, right? And so there's, of course, well, if you have the cash, that's great. But unfortunately, I don't think any of us had the cash. So we had to go kind of through a loan process. So how was that like for you, Alex?
Yeah, well, so what I found is that loans are relatively easy to get in Japan and very cheap. Interest rates are just fantastic compared to just about anywhere else. I mean, less than 1% per year is unthinkable.
Unthinkable in the U.S. Yeah,
Right?
think about anywhere,
I mean,
almost.
and you know, if you accept going variable, you can get less than 0.5%,
Yeah,
which is again some brand new world for somebody.
It's
shopping
free
in other
money.
places.
It's
Yeah,
free
it's almost
money.
free money.
yeah,
And every once in a while, the government will have some incentives where even that little bit of money, that 0.5%, that 1%, gets back to you.
yeah.
So you want to be
In
on
tax,
the lookout.
in tax
Yeah,
relief.
yeah. Some part of it goes back to you in tax. So that's the kind of thing. But the other thing to realize is that most loans are variable interest.
Yep.
Japan economy has a track record of being extremely stable.
Yep.
And it has been stable for a good 50 years.
Yeah.
So people learn to rely on variable interest, and everybody uses that kind of system. It has never varied too much.
Yeah. I would say after the bubble, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. After the bubble in the late 80s,
Yeah.
basically the Japan economy tanked, and the government to help stabilize the economy has kept interest rates extremely low in
But
Japan.
if you're weary of the future, because nobody can guarantee, right?
Yep.
Past performance is not a guarantee of future returns.
Sure. Sure.
So they do have fixed rates, and they're about twice the price of variable rates, but still very good.
Very low.
Yeah, very low.
Yeah.
So so those are kind of the choices, and then your visa status in Japan is another factor. You need to consider that they won't lend money to just anybody out on the street. They're gonna make sure that you intend to stay here and that you have a job here and everything. So that's the other thing to consider. But you satisfy their requirements, and you make the computation to make sure that the interest and the monthly fit in your budget. Get a good banker on your side, and you're good to go. It's not that hard.
Yeah. I would just add, I actually was looking into buying property about a year ago, and so I went through this very, very recently. And so exactly what you said. Something interesting about Japan is there's no credit score. There's no credit.
Oh, really?
There's no credit record, and so
Right.
they basically ask for a bunch of information and the banks make an assessment, like a subjective assessment on whether you're trustworthy or not. And so they ask for things like previous pay slips and tax returns
And your health exams.
Well, they didn't ask me for that, but okay, health exams sometimes.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. That son of a bitch.
You're gonna have to bleep that one out, Alex. But actually, you know what? Now that you say that, but my first house loan, they asked for my health exam, my previous health exam.
Wow. I think that's because it didn't go for this time around. Maybe it didn't go as far into the process.
Oh, maybe that's right. I only did the karishinse. Yeah, that's right.
Which is the pre-approval.
Pre-approval.
Yeah.
But anyway, and so you have to provide them a bunch of information, how long you've been working at your company, and like, I even had to tell them, oh, my wife is Japanese, or I could speak, understand Japanese. These are all things that kind of like go toward loan approvals. But I got pre-approved. But something very interesting also about interest rates is there's a bunch of different banks, as Alex alluded to, and there's an interesting thing in Japan. There's basically the major banks in Japan, the banks that have been around for forever, and so of course they all have these house loans. But there's like these new type of online banks in Japan,
True.
these internet banks, and of course they have no physical locations, and so much better rates. And so, but the problem with these online banks is they take, since they're so lightly staffed, it takes longer to do the approval process. So if you get started early enough, you know, it might take like a month or two to get your approvals, but the rates are really good. But the well-established, you know, banks with the physical local locations that are well-staffed, they can give you approval like literally 24 hours, 48 hours.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and so something the real estate agent was telling me, like something you could do, because all you need is pre-approval to move forward. So you can get pre-approval from like a good bank, and then when it comes to actually making your payment, you can use the online bank later. And so you can kind of do multiple banks at a time to kind of.
The seller doesn't come where the money comes. Doesn't care where the money.
They
comes
don't, as
from.
long as they get the money, they're totally happy. And so that's a good trick that I learned this time around. But yeah, basically, as Alex said, you can do full variable. You know, I did full variable, but you can also get 10-year fixed, 20-year fixed for, you know, a slightly higher rate, but you have the stability. So yeah, quite a few different options. Anything to add, Taeyeon?
No, actually, fortunately or unfortunately, I bought my house.
That's
with
right.
Cashes.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
Mr.
but
Cash.
good thing is that, I mean, one thing you can consider is
respect.
you can
Yes,
you
yes.
can buy the cheaper one, not what Alex bought. So
Right.
Alex or Ben bought, right?
Right.
Their house is much higher up than mine because my place is far. It's 90 kilometers south of the Tokyo,
That's
which
right.
is far away. So
That's right.
It's more like in my case, it's more our second house
Yeah.
during the weekend.
Yeah.
So it's quite different.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you can buy the affordable
Yeah.
house with a reasonable.
Yeah.
So I bought the.
That's right. I
house
forgot.
in-
I forgot.
You get more space too, I'm sure.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. And then if you are lucky, you can have a onsen at your
Yeah.
house,
Yeah.
which is my case.
Yes. Onsen. What is onsen, by the way?
Onsen is a hot spring in Japan.
Hot spring.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Like natural?
natural hot spring. So you have your area. It's not only on my place. There's some blocks. All blocks is a kind of investor save money, and then they build some onsen, and then you can. How can I say? So you deliver through the onsen line, and then you can have a onsen at your house. So whenever you want to bath, you can have a natural onsen.
Natural hot spring water piped
Right.
directly into your house.
That's
that-
something you can consider.
Is
my
that
gosh.
Netabare? Is that
No.
is that coming in Mugen Plus One program?
Hey, I told you to keep that a secret, Alex. But if you're interested, maybe if you're all good and y'all hit that like button,
Maybe.
and y'all
someday.
subscribe, one day we'll share this amazing perk of
Yeah,
living in
absolutely.
Japan. So anyway, there you go. There's three different ways that you could purchase property here in Japan. It's just to give you guys a little bit of peek, and hopefully maybe it'll help you in your own journey in getting a place to live in this amazing country in Japan. And so with that, we'd like you to thank you of always watching our shows here on the Mugen Plus channel. And with that, we will see you next time.